farfallone amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adoncino d'amor.
In this Italy travel vlog, we are going to share our top 10 most surprising things about visiting Italy.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And we're bucket list travellers.
We're on a bucket list journey around the world to reach 100 countries. The COVID pandemic saw us stranded in Nicaragua for 18 months before we finally got back on the road in late 2021.
Italy has been on our travel bucket list forever. After all, it's the birthplace of pizza, pasta and gelato. It has so much history to discover and some of the most beautiful cities in the world. Italy is a country we've admired from afar, and now that we've experienced it for ourselves, we've discovered a few surprises which we're going to share with you right now. As we looked forward to our trip to Italy, the thing we looked forward to most was getting our fill of pizza and pasta. What we found surprising though was just how many varieties of flavours that were available. Italy has really mastered the art of creating different flavours. This extends to pizza, pasta, paninis, and even gelato flavours. You could spend years eating your way through the country, trying a new flavour each day, and never run out of flavours. Some of our favourites were gorgonzola gnocchi, which is a potato dumpling smothered in creamy cheese sauce, as well as a fruitcake flavoured gelato called cassata, containing little pieces of fruit jelly.
When travelling through Italy, one thing you'll have to get used to are the city taxes that are charged as separate fees on top of your accommodation. The city taxes vary by city and by type of accommodation. For example, in Milan we paid €4 per night per person in a 3-star hotel, €2.50 in a hostel in Venice, and €1.50 in a studio in Trieste. Another peculiar thing about these city taxes is that they can't be collected in advance. So you almost always need to pay the city tax separately when you arrive at your hotel or leave the city tax amount for your Airbnb host after your stay.
City taxes aren't the only additional fees you'll find when travelling in Italy. Whilst it isn't customary to tip at restaurants in Italy, there are instead coberto charges or cover charges in most Italian restaurants. In touristy areas and for bookings of 8 or more people, there may also be a servizio charge or a percentage service charge.
Particularly in Milan, we found cover charges to be around €150 to €250. You can see the cover charge prices on the menu right at the bottom, so that's something just to look out for when you're visiting Italy. We did also find that cover charges won't be applied if you have takeaway. Perfect for our fresco dining.
Whilst coberto charges were a bit of an unpleasant surprise for us, a nicer surprise was finding the aperitivo specials.
Given that the cover charge for eating dinner at a restaurant can be up to €2.50 in some restaurants, it's pleasantly surprising to find the aperitivo specials. So they're dinner specials, you get a drink, you get a meal, sometimes it's all you can eat, and it comes for as little as somewhere between €8 to €12. So it's a really good special, and it even includes any cover charges and everything. So look out for happy hour or aperitivo outside restaurants, and they're generally served from about 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at night. Definitely try out the aperitivos when in Italy.
Another surprise when visiting Italy is that when you order food from a bakery, patisserie or focacceria, the food is usually expressed by the kilogram and not by the individual unit of food. €14 a kilo.
€14 a kilo, €33 a kilo.
This makes it a little hard to work out how much you are actually paying, especially if you're used to working in pounds.
When you travel to Italy, be sure to visit a cemetery while you're there. One curious surprise we found when sightseeing in Italy is that cemeteries are major tourist attractions in cities like Genoa and Milan. They're quite impressive, with countless rows of mausoleums and religious marble sculptures. We don't often think of cemeteries as major tourist attractions, but we were surprised at how beautiful and elaborate Italian cemeteries are. Cemeteries in Italy are sprawling complexes filled with ornate statues and large mausoleums. There are some impressive artworks contained in these cemeteries, and due to the sheer impressive scale of them, they are a must visit in Italy.
We're around Carnival time in Venice, and we've noticed there's a lot of confetti on the ground. But we noticed this also in Milan and in Verona.
Confetti is thrown into the air as part of the Carnival celebrations in Italy. It's a tradition that goes hand in hand with this colourful festival and occurs throughout February in Italy. Expect to see the streets filled with confetti everywhere. They are vibrant celebrations and fun for the whole family.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. When travelling in any country, having good availability of public toilets is a significant benefit. Whilst there are plenty of public toilets in Italy, what surprised us is that you need to pay for the privilege of using them. This came as a culture shock to us as Australians, as we're used to being able to pee for free. While on the topic of toilets, another thing that you might find surprising in your accommodation are bidets.
So when you enter a bathroom, you'll see the normal toilet, and then you'll see this extra basin. What do you do with the extra basin? So that's to use instead of toilet paper, if you want. So you just sit down, turn this thing on, and that cleans your behind.
One surprising thing about Italy is that the names of the cities are anglicised. So, for example, the Italian name for Venice is Venezia, and in other cities that we've been to, Milan is actually Milano, Genoa is actually spelt Genova, and what we all know as Rome is actually Roma. So we've noticed this only in Italy. So for example, France, you may pronounce the cities differently, but the spelling is exactly the same. For whatever reason, Italy has all its names anglicised. Don't know why. COVID has had a massive impact on how people travel, with most countries imposing some sort of COVID requirements. What we found surprising about Italy is that there are requirements on the type of mask you have to wear. You are required to wear FFP2 grade masks on all public transport. If you have an N95 mask, then this is equivalent. These rules are still in place as at May 2022.
So one thing we found very surprising about train travel in Italy is that there's no Wi-Fi on trains. And for many of the train stations in Italy, there's no Wi-Fi there either. There was in Milan, but in many other stations there aren't. And this is very different to a lot of the trains in other parts of Europe. So in Spain, you'll find Wi-Fi on trains, and in France, you won't find Wi-Fi on many trains, but you will find it in the stations. But in Italy, we've had a lot of trouble finding Wi-Fi on trains or around trains. So keep that in mind if you're travelling through Italy on trains.
We hope you enjoyed our Italy Top 10 surprises and got some useful Italy travel tips along the way. If you did, hit that like button and leave us a comment. If you want more travel inspiration, then subscribe to join us on our bucket list journey round the world.
We are Bucket List Travellers.
See you next time.